Welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos Fathomless, the tabletop podcast set in the world of Fierlor. I am your Dungeon Master Dubby, and joining me as always are Mitch playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Jake playing the Fishman, Joe playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Laura playing Janice, Zoe playing Loren, and Eddie playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. Let's jump in. Last left off, the party made their way to 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and on their way, Fishman noticed strange occurrence amongst the stars in the sky. 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 took a bit convincing to enter the home of 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, seemingly due to past, shall we say, expectations and traumas placed upon it. So we particularly ended on 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 descending the stairs and stating that the ship was pretty much ready. So, and what was it that, what brings you all here at this hour of the night?
I do apologize for the lack of notice. However, we've had a expedition that proved fruitful and also quite dangerous. And with our new companion that we have, we found it prudent to need to find somewhere away from the general populace
and
for a night.
On the mention of new companion, you see he scans his eyes over the room and spots 𝗖𝗦𝗧. What an interesting entity. Greetings.
I think 𝗖𝗦𝗧 is staring down 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 in a way. It's not raised itself up to its full height or anything, but it's watching. And it looks, I guess, to the others who have seen it in various states now, it does not look relaxed or calm. It looks at attention, and it just watches.
There is no need for such stiffness or formality here. You are in safe company.
It's probably at that point that Fishman will kind of step in and be like, 𝗖𝗦𝗧 doesn't particularly communicate much in any way. Some ways, but talking isn't really the best option.
Does 𝗖𝗦𝗧, did you say, understand my speech?
I've noticed moments of comprehension, and at other times, none at all. They react especially well to body language, and that's often how they display and communicate themselves.
Interesting.
And I will also note they are incredibly uncomfortable in this place. In fact, I would say they're probably incredibly uncomfortable everywhere up here. So please do show some form of caution and understanding.
Completely understand. New environments can be strange for all of us.
I think it's still just staring at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. It's still just staring at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. And I think its eyes kind of flick to Fishman, then to Loren, and then back to 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, just kind of gauging their body language and how they're reacting to this person. And I can roll an insight if that is it. I will just roll an insight.
Go for it.
Where's my insight? It's a 12.
Loren looks completely at ease with 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 on a 17 deception. She looks completely chill, completely fine, as she actually sits up, just calm, kind of stops manspreading enough that 𝗖𝗧 probably isn't wedged into a corner anymore. Sets her tea down gently and goes like, Aye, new places can be strange, but we thank you for having such a hospitable new place. I'm Lorraine, by the way, navigator.
𝗔𝗦𝗧 Forbray. Now, I'm not sure what positions were lined up, but I am aware that on the Polaris, the Fishman was the navigator, if I'm not mistaken.
Things have changed.
Not that much.
Since he's working with Neris more often, someone has to actually pay attention to the maps. So I'm doing all the hard work. He gets the title. You know how it is with men in positions of power. I'm kidding. Ha ha ha.
I guess if Galuda's still watching, at first Fishman is like very comfortable because he obviously knows everyone he's talking to. And he might have given a cheeky grin at first, but then yeah, you can tell he quickly got uncomfortable and did not ease up after the "it was a joke, haha."
I think just after it was a joke, haha, and I'm imagining Eldrin, who had been facing Galut, sort of turned to address Lorette, and just from behind him hears a almost in warning.
It's
As
all
it
good,
seems
buddy.
Fishman gets slightly uncomfortable.
Um,
And it doesn't quite understand why, it just
Yeah.
knows there was an interaction there.
Yeah. Aldrin, gives Bill a quick glance like that before turning back to Lorraine and saying, No, you're quite right. In a broad sense, yes, you're quite right.
It's fine, I was kidding. Fishman and I are the joint navigation team.
Well,
Yes.
to my understanding, you're probably going to need that in the Astral Sea. Not so much chance for staying still and allowing things to go with the tides as there would be on the ocean. Practically a 24/7 job to navigate up there.
Aye. So it's so wonderful of you and Neris and Fishman to bring us all together to help with this ship.
Beg your pardon, have you been there before? Janice finally says. He was very quiet and very carefully watchful, almost nervous for some reason, as Eldrin has arrived. But he sort of relaxes back into his general sort of demeanor, I guess.
I've not been there before, but I've read much on the matter.
Ah, theory man.
Yeah. Well, you must understand, until these designs, there wasn't much ability to test the theory.
Theory will soon become practice then, perhaps, if our voyage is to become successful. If our voyage is fruitful.
Yeah. Well spoken.
Janice
Yeah.
is my name.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine.
So Lorraine and Fishman are to be the joint navigators. What other positions have you organized for the crew?
Janus, the incredibly talented bosun from the Polaris, has been promoted to captain. I believe
Congratulations.
that role to be best suited to their talents.
Janice just nods. Sorry. Janice just nods, but is very extremely watchful now as these two interact.
For Elton, I believe we are still sorting out the full extent of the contract. However, I have offered multiple roles.
Yes, I would be interested in being a medic, putting my skills to use. Purposely does not mention the other role.
It is going to be important who you have in each role on this ship. Of course, depending on what size of crew. It's not to be required to have a big crew on a ship like this, but it is up to you as a collective whether you wish to bring on additional hires or whether the 6 of you will suffice.
I suppose it depends on the scope of the journey and how it may change. Although I'm sure Neris has his own ideas on this matter. He's the director after all.
I am interested to see how well we work as a small well-coordinated team.
Well, fortunately, the helm takes much of the requirement for a large crew usually needed for a large vessel such as this on the ocean out of the equation. Your only concern will be the numbers not necessarily being on your side. If you should come into some sort of a scrape against something out there. But from what I hear and what I have seen, you are each highly capable individuals.
You're most kind, yes. While there is much that we will need to learn, I am very confident in the capabilities of the crew that have been chosen here. As for defenses, I have some theories about that as well. After a trial run, should we say, adjustments may need to be made.
Yes, of course, and of course there are the defenses that we have already discussed and worked upon.
Of course.
And I've thrown in one or two things that I came up with in the past few days while you have been off chasing gems and whatever else you've been dealing with.
I look forward to seeing the improvements you have made. I have no doubt they will be as effective as all your previous projects.
Sure, they will be quite useful for you should you come into a scrape.
Well, again, I would thank you for allowing us to stay with you for the night. I would very much like tomorrow morning to go down to the warehouse to inspect this vessel.
Of course.
So that we may put the finishing touches on, but unfortunately we are ill prepared tonight.
Of course. So first thing in the morning, we'll venture to the docks.
Excellent.
I too am personally interested in seeing this ship. I have heard some of it. I'm curious to see what this impossible ship might be like. Seems you've been doing a great deal of work with this together. Clearly we are in your debt, Sir Lord? Professor?
I have no such title. I don't concern
Mr. Forbury.
Please, just call me Eldrin.
I will then. Thank you for your assistance. Hopefully us working together will be a good one.
That is perfectly all right. Now, of course, as you know, I have discussed, I have made sure that my guest quarters aboard the ship, should I be able to join you, are well appointed, but as will all of yours be.
Excellent. Sorry.
Taking a hint from 𝗔𝗦𝗧, 𝗔𝗦𝗧 will add on to that. Care has been taken to ensure that all of the individual needs are met based on our skill sets and interests. And we are more than capable of amending or adjusting any items aboard the vessel. Being the sole owners now, of course.
Yes. And of course, should you take on a crew, that would be easy enough to adjust to as well. We have a nifty little enchantment placed aboard the ship to allow for that.
Your niftiness is appreciated.
Sounds incredible.
Well, I will reiterate something I said to Neris, Sultan, and the Fishman when we first met. While I have a few combat capabilities, most of my study of magic is not within that realm. This is more, shall we say, practical magic for day-to-day life. Bit of transmutation, conjuration, that sort of thing.
So you have us as the arm to wield in the magic stead, then? This ship you built sounds quite incredible. Could I ask what is it that you would like us to do? Why do you put so much funds into us?
Darius and I have a overlapping fascination within the arcane. There is some phenomena that I've been noting of late that it's not typically something that I have observed off-world. There have been things occurring amongst the starscape that seem more consistent with the animantic magics that I have studied here.
Anomalies amongst the stars.
Yes. Well, I do not know truly whether it is amongst the stars themselves or within the interaction between the sea of stars that we see and the divine barrier that protects us from our own gods.
His eyes. Oh, sorry.
Elaborate a bit on that.
Sorry, could you say that line again, Jake? Because we overlapped. You can talk though.
It's all good. Dishman's going to take it from here, and if you wanted to say something now would be the time. All right.
It's all good.
Cool. Could you elaborate a bit on that, actually? I did see something quite recently that sounds quite relevant to this.
There have been a few different types of phenomena. However, the most common seem to be, shall we say, cosmological flares.
Precisely what I saw earlier today.
Yeah.
What is that something to be concerned about, would you say?
I do not know.
Is it as if the stars themselves were flaring up,
Yes.
only then to dim once again,
Yes.
but almost in a pattern?
Almost. But within my research, through my observations, they appear to be growing more and more frequent, these flares. That concerns me.
That is concerning. Good idea to get a little research crew out there.
While Eldrin's talking about these phenomena, while Eldrin's talking about this, Janice's eyes finally do slide back over towards Neris and just study his expression while he's talking about this, as he even begins to become concerned.
Neris doesn't look surprised by any of this information. His expression has grown a little bit darker, though.
Janice nods and listens on.
Now, I'm hoping that by venturing out into the stars, something can be gleaned about the nature of these flares and the associated phenomena. And hopefully, that will clarify whether there is something to be concerned about, and if there is some way to stop it, either in arcane theory or within the history books.
This is a noble goal, I guess. It's worth investigating.
Of course.
To not just reach for the stars, but to travel through them.
Make sure they're not fallen.
What a chance indeed. I look forward to seeing this ship then.
Look forward to seeing what you can do with it.
We'll do our best not to disappoint.
I'm sure you will not.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I would prefer not to keep him up too late. Is it alright if I retire to my room, or are there further things to discuss?
I believe it is best discussed in the morning when there is the full context of the ship before us.
Excellent. Then we should get some good rest. I appreciate again your offer of generosity at such short notice for such strange bedfellows as us.
And not to ask too much of your hospitality, but I am quite famished. Is there a place to get some food?
I will make sure that a meal is sent up to you. Do you have any preferences?
I have no real preference as long as it has nothing to do with mushroom.
I will speak to the staff and have something sent up.
Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Atul will kind of stand to leave, but he's not going to leave yet. Is Eldrin preparing to leave?
At this stage, no.
Damn it. I want to talk to you guys.
Well, I've had a long day. I might slowly head off to my room.
Yes, I will have some of the I'll have a couple of members of staff come down to show you to where you'll be staying for the evening.
Many thanks, much appreciated.
No problem, any time. And good night. And a pleasure to meet you to those who I'm meeting for the first time.
Of course. Sorry. Of course, we look forward to speaking with you on the morrow then. Thank you again for your hospitality. Janice stands up.
A pleasure to meet you, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
The
I look forward to working with you.
pleasure is all mine, Doren.
All right, bed by time.
Something like that. And he returns up the spiral staircase.
As soon as it's out of earshot, Alton's just like, no, stay in here gestures. Huddle in.
Oh, okay. No, yes, all right. What's going on?
All right.
Neris, Fishman, Janice, what is our actual plan? That was like, that's just all bullshit to keep him, like, giving us money, isn't it? Right. Like, that's not really connected to anything that we're doing. Like, it's probably useful, but, like, that probably doesn't have fuck all to do with what we're doing.
You, do you remember this ship that I'm building? I mentioned to you what it does and where it goes, yes?
You're kind of vague and weird about it.
That doesn't sound like me.
Would you be able to refresh me on that one?
This ship travels in dimensions otherwise unexplored.
That's the one, yes.
The astral plane is one of those otherwise unexplored areas. While we have the ability to go potentially anywhere, the goal of 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is not misaligned with ours.
Oh. Okay, well, just forget all that then. So the stars thing, that's all connected to the 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 thing?
Yes, I mean, well, you saw this too, Fishman. Some strange thing in the stars.
Literally on our way here, yes.
Could it be 𝗖𝗔𝗦, or this god, this Mistforge, trying to break things free?
I have no idea, but by the sounds of it, it is very relevant to the reason why I went into the Underdark as well. I'd like to find as much information as I can on all of this barriers. I can't remember what the magic is called.
Animancy?
Animancy, yes. The more I learn about animancy, the better.
Alton looks momentarily embarrassed to have gotten this wrong. But then it's just like,
Excellent, all right, that's good then. We're using someone who is interested in the same thing in a way. That's good.
Pretty much. However, if it helps, then correct me if I'm wrong, Neris, but we have as much leniency as we wish to take hold of. I believe that there's no immediate need to go out. We can basically do whatever we want, but as he said, these occurrences are happening more and more, and he is mainly giving us the means to investigate.
And it pays to keep a wealthy investor happy, I suppose. The two of you have been working closely with this 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, it seems. He says to Fishman and Neris.
We have, and while 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 does have a vested interest in the research that we find, the direction of our party is down to us. So, in a way, Alton, you are not entirely incorrect.
Knew it. Good. It's interesting to learn what you two have been planning then.
I agree.
Certainly is.
Yes.
Regardless, I do need my rest. And also, we have 𝗖𝗪𝗏 to tend to as well. As he kind of, I guess, stands up from the huddle to check on how they're doing. Because I can't imagine they joined the huddle.
Did not join the huddle. And it's kind of standing there. It watched 𝗔𝗦𝗧 as he left quite attentively, like just kept watch, and then has still in its sort of corner, just been in that same stance, but just been watching all of you curiously as you huddle in, almost like it's assessing something. But when you kind of look up to check on it, it just gives you a slight, almost imperceivable nod.
Schmidt gives a perceivable nod, and then comes back down into the huddle. What is the plan there?
The plan, at its current standpoint, is we get some rest. We sleep, we recover, and tomorrow, 𝗔𝗦𝗧 and I will take you down to the docks, and we will show you what we've been working on. And hopefully, we will have a better idea on its capabilities and where we can go.
Sounds good. Excellent. Everyone should rest well tonight. We have been through a long day, and I'm sure there are many injuries to be dressed and relaxation to be had.
Absolutely, yes. Please come to me if anyone requires any further healing. Or took quite a beating.
Of course. Please go to 𝗔𝗦𝗧 if you require anything. I'll be fine. I can just patch myself up.
Elton gives him a bit of a judging look, but it's like, no, because he does have magic.
He just nods. Well then, he said there would be servants downstairs that would show us the way. And Janice
Sure did.
And Janice awkwardly gets up out of his. Janice had already been standing, so he nods to the group, and then will make his way down to the.
Yeah, so it's not too long before Corbin and a couple of other staff, one a golden scaled dragonborn woman with long hair like tendrils coming from the back of her head. The other a short gnomish fellow, slight greenish hue to his skin, and stark blue hair sticking up, like in an almost square spike. And so come to greet you, and Corbin says, if you'd like to follow us through to the guest wing, and we'll show you to your rooms for the night.
Absolutely. This is very kind of you. I will wait to see if my companions come down here so we can sort of save a bit of time, but please. No, hang on. That doesn't make sense because that forces people to come down there. I will edit that out. So Janice is very gracious to the both of them. He nods. It's like, thank you very much. I appreciate your kindness. Do you enjoy working here for Mr. 𝗔𝗦𝗧?
Oh, he's a good boss, pays well, and better than others that I've worked under before.
Excellent. A kind person, then.
Yes.
As much as bosses can be.
Yes.
Good. Then show me the way. I would be most delighted to be led by the both of you.
And yeah, so you are led through your room.
And Janice will follow them. He will chat with them. He is obviously mindful that they may need to run back and guide the rest of his team to places, but he is very personable. He's also, again, he does like slow a lot and just look around 𝗔𝗦𝗧's sort of abode a bit as they're doing that, and will linger a while. If it's lost in a memory, perhaps.
I guess 𝗔𝗦𝗧 will be kind of like, it's probably visibly obvious that like he's been putting up a bit of a mask of his usual, like, I don't know, shit-stirring persona, I guess. And he's very like exhausted and just emotional underneath. But he will kind of like, regardless, like stand up, prepare to go to bed, I guess kind of look at like Gulut and like Fishman and Loren and be like, reckon they're gonna go to their bedroom all right? They'll scare the servants or...
Personally, I think servants should be made of hardier stuff if Gulut can scare them. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll help it out.
Of course. And then he turns to Gulut and he's like, sorry, I don't mean to be talking about you in front of you. These two should look after you, I'm sure. And then he'll go to Fishman and be like, oh, actually, are you feeling any better? I remember the tea that disagreed with you. Are you all right now?
Fishman will say, I was waiting for a meal to come to my door, but I was hoping to see you later to get that looked at, actually. Which is a deception. Because he is actually healed thanks to Gulut.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think that was like a 10, so I think I'm good. I don't think he'd be trying especially hard to like insight on you right now.
No, that's all good. But yes, no, absolutely. Possibly a little bit later though. I am very hungry.
No, of course, yes, definitely eat up. It's been a long day. I will just be trying to sort out some of these wounds in my room, so feel free to pop by whenever.
Surely the others have been hurt. Loren, I saw you did take a bit of a beating as well. Do you not need attention?
Well, no, Gulut gave me a topper up.
Alton glares. No, I think she's perfectly fine. Gulut magic all the pain away. Scratches his nose up at her.
Oh, the pain never goes away, Alton. I'm in agony all the time. I'm fine. Go to bed. Tend to Fishman's sore tummy.
All right, well.
Right. I think Gulut watches you curiously as you sort of interact around the room, and you speak sort of to him as well, to it as well, and it as you're leaving, you may look back at it, and it just gives you a little nod, and there's a calmness to it that it hasn't really had with you before, and it's like something has clicked with it.
Oh, nice.
You're not sure what.
Alton gives it a nod back and says, the offer of healing applies to you too. All right, nice, everyone. The team
Good night.
can leave and return to his room. Not eat anything because of the abdominal injuries, just him in general, and then to start like cleaning his wounds, like looking after himself a bit.
Does Fishman get food?
Yeah.
What food does he get? What does Rich Man get for visitors?
You are brought up because of the lateness of the hour, it's not a large meal, but it is a very nice hearty soup with meat, and in tasting it you note that it is particularly boar meat, as well as some leek and a few other vegetables to fill it out.
Fair enough. Yeah, he's gonna scoff that down. And then if he can, make his way to Alton.
Okay.
Very quickly before you two chat, right before, like, as you guys are all toddling off to your rooms, Lorena is gonna help Gulut go to wherever it is sleeping. But before she does, she just kind of turns and looks back at Neris, and then like reaches into her little thigh bag and holds out a flask you have never seen before. She has like 3 different flasks. You've never seen this one, and she just holds it out to you. Go on.
Nurse will slowly reach out a hand and grab the flask.
You deserve it. Have a drink. You got eaten by a worm today.
Technically I didn't, but thank you.
Yeah.
Unscrew the lid. and almost resigning themselves to the fate that this is probably something like vinegar again. He's just going to take a fairly decent swig of it.
It is the most beautiful, finely aged whiskey you have ever drunk in your life.
I need you to know,
Mm.
I am both incredibly impressed and very upset.
That's the impression I aim to leave on people.
Hand the
I've got a
flask
question.
back.
I've got a question for you, fella. And she flicks the cap closed and screws it shut.
Suppose you've just earned it.
Why were you so pissed earlier today? In the sewer, after Janice's speech, you were mad as hell. Very good at hiding it, not from me.
Nurse leans back in his chair and kind of crosses his arms, tilts his head and looks over at Loren. Quite the perceptive one you are.
Half the time it was my job to pay attention to how people were reacting. It's just that half the time I tend to react as if I don't care.
That... I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that is a conversation that I must have with Janice.
Ah, so you're very mad. Could I at least know what it's about? The particulars? I'm pretty pissed at him as well, but...
What reason would you have?
So you're not a perceptive one, then?
It's important to have trust in your superiors. I'm sure whatever issues that you have with your captain can be solved with a gentle conversation.
Now you're still a diplomat, son. Have another drink. She hands the flask back to him.
And we drink.
Yeah. I'm not talking to you because I want the political bullshit. Just tell me.
I'm not angry at your captain. I think I am angry at myself, but it is directed poorly.
Okay. I'll let you keep that secret. I'll let you talk to Janice about it. Why do you keep saying he's my captain? You can say his name, can't you?
Janice is the elected captain.
Mm.
I have complete faith in the skills and talents that he will bring to this position.
I really need to get you drunk one day. I think it'll be fun.
Neris looks very serious and looks down to this. It won't be.
You know, I can't work you out. I thought I had. I thought I knew exactly what you were like. Thought all you book wizards were the same. There's an arrogance, there's an ego. At a position of power and a captain who trusts you implicitly, I thought I knew exactly what you were. But you're not that. You never were. I think it's very, very interesting. I don't think you know who you are either. Apologies if I crossed the line. Keep the flask.
Lauren,
Nurse.
I want you to never say that again.
Is that an order, Director, or is it a threat? I won't either way, I just need to know why I'm keeping quiet.
It is a request.
She'd gotten a bit puffed up when you said that, very defensive, and she sort of deflates a little and rubs her eyes. Shit. I am sorry. That was cruel. Shouldn't have said it.
Take a flask.
No, it's a gift. I got it for you, I don't drink that shit.
Sleep well, Lauren. You need it. We all do.
Have fun talking to Janice. I think you both need that. Good night. And she will help lead Gull to its room and then go to bed.
Oh, that didn't go how she
Nurse,
expected.
can you roll a perception and an insight for me, please?
The perception is pretty low. That's a 6. So do you still want an insight?
Don't worry about the insight. You watch as Gull follows through, and it's willingly led away to bed, wherever that may be.
Nerith watches Gull walk out the door not moving his head, just following with his eyes. And his eyes hover on that door frame for long after Galut leaves. I don't know whether we want to cut to Fishman or Alton here.
We're doing it.
Is-
Sorry.
Is Nara still in the hallway when Fishman pokes his head out?
I believe Neris was still in the sitting room.
Still in the sitting room. Never mind. But yeah, no, absolutely. So probably not too long after that, Alton will get a knock at the door.
After a moment, he just calls out, come in.
Fisherman will come in.
Yeah.
What is Alton looking like right now? Because they've had a day.
Yeah. He's probably just like wearing like a shirt and pants now, and he's got like medical supplies all around him. He's looking pretty exhausted. His wounds are like somewhat healed. He's probably got some like cuts through his shirt that you can just see like clean bandages all wrapped around. So yeah, he's not looking great. But he like stands up to greet Fishman as he enters.
No, sit down. You're injured. You should know that.
Oh, yes. Probably. No, but,
No.
all right. I can, like, pass the supplies over, I guess, if need be. Do you want to take a seat, too?
Absolutely, and he'll sit down. I'm not sure if there's another chair in the room, but yeah, he'll sit down or on the floor next to Alton. I'm assuming Alton sets up for a desk or on the bed or something. But
Yeah,
I
sitting
guess
at a chair.
surrounded by a whole plethora of bloodied bandages and yeah. I will admit, and there's something I want to check with you as well.
Go on.
My ailment I had this morning, earlier today in the sewers, did make me quite unwell, and what you gave me and the tips you told me absolutely did help, but Galut did actually help me out with that very recently, and I have been feeling much better, actually. What are your thoughts on Galut?
Oh. He just thinks it takes a moment to be like, already taking the healer's role away from me. That just flickers over his face, but then he gets back to the conversation.
Oh, well. That's quite a terrifying thing to happen. It looks like some kind of necromantic being, but it has much more sentience than that. It very much worries me how this came to be. What kind of experiments led to that?
They do seem to be an anomaly, absolutely. Most certainly not natural.
Definitely not. Whether there's some kind of new magic going on at play, or I don't know.
It's almost ironic, what I feel, such a caring and insightful being inside of a quite scary and fearful exterior. It's almost sad.
Yes, I mean, I'd have to agree with that one. I mean, it's difficult to know what its true intentions, but it does just seem to be a hurt person, I suppose. It's quite disgusting seeing magic and machinery used to affect someone's body in such a way.
More importantly, the person behind all of that as well.
Yes, that's...
I hope that doesn't affect your opinion of Galut. Because I can absolutely see how that would be possible. You do not see Galut, you see a creation of your brother. But I think, judging by their reaction, or at least what I saw towards the tail end of that fight, Galut is very independent.
It would seem that way. It doesn't seem like Galut has fond feelings for my brother, which makes sense. I think for a while I reminded it of him.
I pride myself on getting to know people quite quickly, knowing what makes them tick. especially seeing interactions between two people, kind of the meaning behind that. But you and your brother was all over the place. And forewarning, I am about to ask you about your family, and I'm not sure if it's too soon, but your brother, the way you spoke to each other was quite fondly earlier. But then I did also hear lots of different things that I wanted to ask you about. And I can't even imagine how you feel about them, because that is a lot to unpack.
Oh, but very much is a lot. But no, I think I owe you some answers for this. Feel free to ask any questions.
I mean, I would love to get answers, but you don't owe me a thing. You've had my back numerous times. I'm just glad I could finally get your back.
I mean, I think you've had my back more.
I'm pretty sure I've taken numerous arrows, gone to turn around to fight another foe that was behind me, but instead it was you patching me up. You're very quick, and you're very skilled. And I know that I can literally walk out into a barrage of arrows and know that you will somehow fix me up.
Well, good. I'm doing my job well then.
Not that I will actively do that, but I can, if the situation ever does happen, confidently do that.
Yes, good. Please don't.
But would you like me to get to the point?
Yes, go for it.
Your brother has tried to have you killed more than once. This being, I'm assuming, the second time.
Yes, you overheard that.
I did. But that's not all. I did also hear and put together that he thought you dead.
That's right.
They did not think Alton dead. They thought 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 dead.
Picked up the alias Alton quite recently, actually, but I don't know, I quite like the name.
It suits you.
Thanks.
A name is nothing but a label, so to speak. I mean, I'm the prime example of it. My name is literally what other people see of me.
Yes.
I don't really know my name, and I don't really care much of that, but yeah, a name is a name. But would you like to keep on going under Alton?
I mean, you can feel free to call me 𝗖𝗧 too. That is who I was for the longest, but I don't know, I don't mind Alton as well. It's a name that I chose for myself, and it's a little good to be away from the family name. Damus always had so much weight over it. And besides, I probably should try to lay low on that front. If
I agree.
Varman's looking for me.
Well, yes, he is still out there, and I had no idea how powerful and influential your family was. You did mention your sister as well, and I would like to unpack on that as well.
Yes, of course, she is also a very powerful member of the family. We always thought that she would take over as their head and end up the most powerful. But, well, it seems like maybe Varman has won over her. Has won in her stead.
Just an observation, but your brother usually, by the looks of it, isn't very thorough with this whole taking out family members thing. Do you believe that there would be any chance of your sister still being out there?
That's a good point. I mean, there definitely could be. She was quite powerful with magic. I mean, Valen does try to be quite thorough, but sometimes emotions get the better of him. She could very well be alive, and he has not realized it.
Would you want to see your sister again?
Seems a little shit to say, but I mean, you met my brother. No, very much no. Would rather prefer not to see my sister again. She, did lead a temple over us, but... Oh, I said that too easily. Yeah, a temple of the god that's out to get me, so...
You don't have to say anymore. I understand. Your family is complicated as fuck. How did you grow up like that? That is the most anxiety-driven family I've even heard of.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. Although, you know, being anxious doesn't befit someone of the Damus name. We've got so many competitors out who would love to see us dead. But no, I suppose back then, Valen somehow had my back. I mean, he was the one who taught me how to shoot a gun. He tried his best to teach me magic, although that was a lost cause. And whenever 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 would try to command me to do something, he would break the spell.
Right.
Probably, now that I think about it, more out of hatred for her than care of me.
For what it's worth, I'm really sorry that meeting your brother did not go well.
Thank you. I should really learn to expect the unexpected, it feels. Every time it feels like there's someone who's somewhat nice in my life, it ends up being false.
He takes a pause and he's like,
If you try to betray me, like, just please, I don't know, just like warn me beforehand or something. I'm fed up with people I care about, like surprising me and trying to murder me.
Can't say I would ever want that. Can't say I would ever willingly do that. I don't think you have anything to worry about with me. And I'm definitely not the only one.
That's good to hear. Also, I can assure you, with all the help that you've given me and everything, I will do my best to help you with your plans. I'm not going to turn against them. Unless you're actively throwing yourself into danger, I am a medic.
I understand. Duty of care. Are you okay?
he kind of like turns away, like looks away from Fishman, probably like grabbing like a cup of water or something to take a sip. And when he turns back, his eyes are like visibly wet. It's been a really shit day. It's been a really shit life.
We haven't really had time to debrief, had we?
I guess not. Though I also feel shit about leading you all into that danger as well. I was trying to avoid all of you so I wouldn't lead you into the whole god mess, and then I led you into an entirely different mess.
From my point of view, if you weren't there, we would have been smoked out like rats and possibly turned into mushroom zombies.
That's true. I guess trying to focus on killing me meant he didn't kill you as fast, so happy to provide the sacrifice.
Fishman kind of like gives like a really hard nod in the sense that it's very difficult, and he kind of comes to the conclusion that I can't spin that. That was just, I can't say anything good about that. We may have made a new friend, however. Hopefully, anyways. I have no idea what 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is thinking, or what they have planned, or what they are, but that's beside the point. Is we are coming out on top at the very least. You may be scratched, battered, smelling like shit and throwing up all over the place, but we still come out on top, and at the very least we are taking steps forward.
Yes.
I hope, and as shit as it sounds, you've got some form of closure from this.
I think it just...
And now you go.
I think it just opened up more questions, but I guess there is closure in knowing what's happening with my family, and I'll be able to find out what to do next.
From what I've heard you say, I believe that your next move with your family is to never see them again, is what I'm getting, and I think that might actually be a good decision for now. I don't believe that you really need them.
No, I mean, I've been on my own for long enough. Hell's just being with them again. don't need to be that younger self again. But I would like to stick around. If Valen is going to be the group's enemy, I don't know. I want to be involved in it somehow. I don't just want to leave him to kill you or you to kill him.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but I don't particularly like your brother very much. But also I would like to point out that I came out of that without a single scratch. And I took a fireball to the face. Your brother doesn't necessarily scare me at all. So, if he wants to take me down, he can go ahead and try, but it will be beside you, and hopefully beside all of the others. And I don't care if he's paired up with 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 or whatever. We're a strong bunch of people, and I'm sure we could come up with some way. If anything, we're quick on our feet. Literally, probably me most of all. I am very fast. But we've got a couple of big noggins, a couple of skillful people like yourself as well.
Right. That's true. I suppose we did nearly defeat a kraken.
What do you mean nearly? I think we did. And as far as Janice's journals go, we might as well have beaten 10 of them. I'm sure that's written in there. One hand tied behind our back and not wearing any clothes or something like that. Something ridiculous. You know Janice.
Absolutely. I'll be curious to hear the tales he will tell of all our exploits, coming into the astral plane or whatever it is.
I want to show you something, but before I do, I've been boiling. This has been brewing in my head for a while, and I think it sounds really nice. But as he says this, he is kind of going through his satchel looking for something, and he does bring out a book, but it's not the same book that you've seen him write in or kind of keep to himself. This is a book that you probably haven't seen before at all. What I wanted to say to you is that Alton is a far better name, I think. Especially Bainran. And I believe that it having nothing to do with your family is far better for you. It just has a better ring to it as well. I think you should keep it.
Oh, thank you. For the, I guess I better keep it then, if it sounds fancier, I suppose. Sounds cooler for our adventures.
I believe so. The thing I wanted to show you is this, and I may have mentioned it a couple of times before, but earlier you were wondering why we're taking this vessel, and if we're just using this man. In a sense, he is a mean to an ends for me, and I have a few loose ends I'd like to follow up, but this is my priority at the moment. And he hands over the book that he has, and he'll kind of gesture for you to open it.
I look briefly at the book. It's have an interesting cover.
This is Ruse.
Oh dear, why?
I was the one responsible for collecting their things, and I did find this amongst them. This is where they wrote their thoughts, and primarily where they wrote their dreams and visions. I have grown an interest in finding leads for Rue, and that is why I was very insistent on going to the Underdark, because 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 was a very, very tantalizing lead. But also, and especially upon hearing of all of this animancy chaos happening, my main goal and main use for this boat is to help me find Rue. And judging by some of these visions that they've had, I believe it's somewhere out there, amongst those flashing stars.
Alton looks, rather surprised and also very sad hearing what this book is. That's a noble goal. I feel a little bit shit. I was a very big asshole to Rue. There's been a lot of times where you get in a new medic who has a new healer who has the magic to them, and then, oh, I'm going right down the ladder. No one gives a shit about Alton anymore. So I was doing a little bit of light hazing. Not very nice. They did not deserve the fate that they had. They were far too young for all of that.
Whilst I'm not sure if they understood that it was light hazing, I think they probably would have caught on to it eventually.
I mean, they did give it back, but it's no excuse.
It's very easy to think in hindsight. I should have paid more attention to Rue. I'm sure they left me plenty of hints about what was going on and what they were that I simply either didn't quite understand or didn't follow up on.
Yes, maybe we could have learned more about how they're connected to all this, but it just all hit so quickly.
But we're in this situation currently, and I'm trying to look forward, which isn't something I usually do.
With you on that one. No, I will. Of course, thank you for giving me this. I will. Showing me this. I will see if I can find anything that might help us learn more about Rue.
I was about to say you would not keep that. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, I realized that as I was saying it. My bad.
It's all good. And yeah, he'll probably take that back. There is 3 things I wanted to check off my list when I came up here. The third being, what are you doing? Why are you coming on the boat with us? And what is your goal there?
I mean, it's a very weird job offer. I do think I would like to go with you folks, especially after all that trouble I led you into, and the fact that my brother is literally your, our nemesis now, is probably going to be hunting us out or something. It would probably be better for me to be with you folks so that we can all fight back at whatever he does together. And I also don't want the world to die, whatever Latian is doing, so yes, I suppose I'll go and check with 𝗖𝗦 about, I don't know, quitting my job.
This job seems to mean a lot to you, actually. You keep on coming back to it.
It's not the job, it's a pretty shit job, but he's been supplying me with materials, and it's also okay, I'm very old, so you occasionally get a huge burst of money like I did with the severance thing with the whole Hydra business. Doesn't last long. You think it's gonna last long, it really doesn't. And then you're back to going wondering if you're gonna be able to eat every day. So it's really, really good to actually have a job. Not very hireable, so that's more the thing. But if this will be a stable enough job for a while, then yes, no, sorry, it's just I need to think about how I'm going to eat is more the issue.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I believe that Neris has called you up for a reason, and I believe he and myself see great value in your medical expertise. I've seen what you've done with 𝗔𝗦𝗧, especially. You did groundbreaking work there, and I honestly don't think you appreciate the work you do. I mean, look around. Yes, this is a mess you made, and it is a mess, but I wouldn't be able to do this. No way. I wouldn't be able to make this much of a mess without doing more damage, more harm than good. So I think you really should appreciate what you do, Alton.
Oh, I think you could probably do it if you liked. I mean, I could teach you if you want. I'm sure a bit of a medic knowledge would always come in handy.
I mean, I'm always here to learn. I've tried to help you with your gunsmithing as best I can, which wasn't very much, but I'm always eager to get tips from Alton.
Always, yes, always more things to learn.
And honestly, my past experience with shooting targets has been quite bad. And I believe last time we also got caught, so I'm not sure if we can do that anymore, but who knows? New boat, new opportunities?
Maybe we can sneak some targets into the budgeting. Might be able to do it. I mean, he's thorough, but if we're sneaky.
Maybe we'll have to ask how many plates the boat has.
Absolutely.
And
No. No, but thank you, Fishman. You are too kind. Thank you for all your help.
It's all good.
And on that note, we're going to leave it there for another week. Thank you for listening, folks. Hope you have a good time between this episode and the next, and we'll see where this all goes next time on Wyverns and Weirdos.
See you next
Thanks for
time.
listening. We're going to
Thanks.
space.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
I want to know if people don't like something, but that's just me. I want them to tell me. No,
I mean,
I can't handle criticism. I crack like an egg.
I mean, if they're nice about it.
Yeah, constructive
Yeah.
criticism, please.
Well, mostly because I know someone's going to say,
funny.
someone's going to say, I don't like how much Zoe said pissing and shitting this episode. And they're right.
That doesn't need to be said.
I'm the person.
It's nerves.
Also,
Yeah,
dumb.
Mitch,
What did Zoe just say?
I don't want to hear it. Tell Eddie.
Yeah, I want to tell it though.
Tell me.